I wanted to maybe start off by asking, start off with Kirsten and ask where Outfest is at this, where we are with Outfest. We have, all of us in all of the different festivals, had a lot of financial challenges this year, and will continue to have them as sponsorship declines, not only at gay and lesbian film festivals, but at all major film festivals and not-for-profit organizations of all kinds. But I'm wondering if you could sort of give us an update of how we're doing at Outfest, which has a very large program of activities throughout the year. It's not one single event program.
We're doing fine, but we definitely are experiencing the economic turmoil that every business and nonprofit organization is experiencing. We're seeing it in sponsorship decrease, in some major donor decrease, in we're going to see it in government and state funding because the revenue is down in the state of California and probably in most other states. What we've done is we're just becoming a little bit of a leaner, meaner machine. We have put we run 5 programs. We run the film festival in the summer, a festival called Fusion, which is the LGBT People of Color Film Festival, which happens in March. We run a weekly screening series called Outfest Wednesdays. We have a project called the Legacy Project for LGBT Film Preservation in collaboration with UCLA, and we run a program called Access LA that's about bringing filmmakers together with industry in LA. So we just put our Outfest Wednesdays program on hold for a few months. So until we figure out how to finance it differently. We're going to do a slightly scaled back festival. Fewer films, fewer programs, try to really concentrate our audiences into 100 and maybe 100 programs instead of 120 programs. So that's what we're looking for in the next year. And then I think as we look towards the future, we're I'm not sure the economy is going to turn around that quickly. So we are thinking about how we sort of rebuild or reconstruct a festival so that it serves filmmakers and audiences in a different way. So I think we'll probably talk about that more as the panel goes on.
Great, thank you. Jennifer? Can I just add too, if you could talk about Frameline and all of its programs, because you do distribution and other things as well.
Very similar to Outfest, Frameline puts on the San Francisco Lesbian Gay Film Festival, but we also have Frameline distribution. We distribute about 200 titles, mostly to the educational market. We have a completion fund grant program, and we also have a Generations film workshop where we bring youth and elders together to make films. So we have a lot of programs as well. We kind of did, festival-wise, a sort of lean and meaner festival in the last couple of years. We've cut down on the number of films and sort of streamlined the amount of programs that we're using. We also had some monthly screenings that are probably going to phase out, and we've had some, restructuring in our staff as well. So, we're all kind of sort of bracing for everything that the environment's bringing, but definitely looking at potential decrease, especially in the donors and the grants and the foundations, because certainly all their money sort of disappeared in the stock market. So very similar.
And Carol, I'm wondering if you wouldn't mind talk a little bit about Miami that you just left, just for maybe just tell us where the status of it is, at least, because
Miami. I don't know what's happening with the Miami Gay and Lesbian Film Festival. I think everybody publicly knows that it was kind of, that kind of scenario they used to film in Miami, Girls Gone Wild. It was kind of Board Gone Wild, and they fired all the staff, or they terminated all the staff, and then they recruited one member of staff with no health benefits. So I don't really know what's going on with that film festival. I know for 6 months they've been advertising for an executive director. If you look at their website, they've certainly got Without a Box. I mean, there's been a lot of community anger down there. They feel like the festival was hijacked by a board of directors. There was 13 people on the board. There's only 4 people left. It was really horrible for me. I lost my immigration status in America, and if it wasn't for TLA releasing, and the fact that Raymond Murray, who's the head of that organisation, kind of literally, I'm going to swear, pulled a job out of his ass to keep my immigration in America. I mean, I would not be here. I would have been deported back to England, even though I've been in America for 7 years. And the good news is that I got an early Thanksgiving present from the INS, and actually got my green card 4 days before Thanksgiving. So that was my story. And then I ended up at the Philadelphia Gay and Lesbian Film Festival, and I think we, and Leslie and I can talk about this, the East Coast festivals are in a very different shape and kind of crisis than the West Coast festivals. The West Coast festivals, and I'm glad Kirsten and Jennifer are on this and we can talk more about this. Certainly Outfest and Frameline, which have always been the market leaders in terms of queer cinema, are in a much stronger position than Miami, New Fest and the Philadelphia Gay and Lesbian Film Festival. The Philadelphia Gay and Lesbian Film Festival is a really weird non-profit model because it's a non-profit model that's managed by the Philadelphia Film Society, but it has this parent company called TLA Entertainment Group, who has many arms, such as TLAvideo.com, TLAraw.com, which is their adult entertainment site, which makes a lot of money, and they also have TLA Releasing. So they've been having fights with their board of directors, and at the moment we are the Philadelphia Gay and Lesbian Film Festival, but we don't own that name at the moment because they're in a fight with the board of directors. So I don't know what the festival name is going to be in July, but at the moment I'm here representing, and I have a pass for the Philadelphia Film Society, even though they terminated my contract a week ago, and I'm now employed by TLA Releasing. So it's all very, very strange, and that's where we are at the Philadelphia Gay and Lesbian Film Festival. And just in terms of, will be a film festival, I mean, the film festival's not in doubt, but we're scaling back on venues too. So we're actually going to use the Prince Theatre just as opening and closing, and that's always been a principal venue. And we're actually moving the festival to Old City, out of the kind of neighbourhood, because that's where the landmark theatre is, and it's actually cheaper for us to actually go in more multiplex and take that venue over. So we're also scaling back and changing our venues.
Thank you. And just as a representative of NewFest, I'll say also that we experience financial difficulties like a lot of other groups, and I'm the acting ED, and I'm basically a board member because the board is now essentially running the administration of the festival. And we've had amazing, wonderful staff, great people that have worked at our festival, but it's not only a function of Basil Tsiokis, who's our outgoing artistic director, wanting to do other things, but a financial consideration as well. We are also changing our venue. You can imagine that getting a venue in New York City is not easy, and it's certainly not inexpensive. And we have been at the AMC 34th Street Cinemas, which is not exactly, queer central, let's just put it that way. I mean, as you go past the second floor exhibits for the new, movies for Warner Brothers or whatever, you go up to the third floor, and we basically have those theaters, but it's not quite the same experience as you get in Frameline at the Castro, or going to the DGA and having that community feeling, which is very different. In New York City, we also compete with every other cultural institution in the city, and there are a few, as you might have heard. And it's hard. It's very, very hard, and has always been hard for us to get major donors in the size and numbers that some of the cities on the West Coast have had. We don't have nearly the amount of sponsorship in the past as some of the other festivals have had. It's always been quite lean and mean. And it is kind of shocking, actually, after 20 years, that it's a festival that basically can't support itself exactly. But it's very much something that the board felt very, very strongly that New York City needed to have a gay and lesbian film festival, and we were going to do whatever we needed to do to make sure that it still existed. And in our case, we also have scaled back our schedule. It's going to be an 8-day schedule, not a 12-day festival. We are moving. Actually, the good news is that we're going to be moving to the School of Visual Arts theaters that they've just remodeled on 23rd Street. Yeah.